Assessing the value of adult education. Why choose an online education? What motivates someone to pursue higher education, and why would they choose an online versus a traditional environment? Adults most often decide to pursue a higher education in order to advance their careers and/or make more money. Some adult learners turn to higher education to gain more knowledge in a subject they are passionate about. As most adult learners, I am motivated to choose an online education by mostly internal factors. Nearly half of adult students were found to be intrinsically motivated to pursue a higher education. For instance, I am not expected by my parents to get a degree, and my career does not require me to advance my education. I am pursuing it for internal reasons. Urban notes that the program a person chooses often stems from whether they are motivated by intrinsic or extrinsic factors. Choosing an online learning environment gives adult students the opportunity to tailor their academic schedule around their work and family schedules. What are my top 5 reasons for choosing an online education? Number 1, career change and options. I have been teaching in public high schools for 18 years, with a brief 2-year stint teaching in community colleges. Teaching at the colleges was where I was most happy, and I would like to return to that. In addition, an advanced degree would afford me with more options on choosing a career path in education. Number 2, better pay. If I were to continue to work in the public education sector, an advanced degree would mean a higher pay scale. Number 3, publication. Earning a higher degree would increase my chances of being taken seriously enough to achieve publication. As I currently am heavily involved in researching Florida history and have had one book published on the Everglades, I hope that an advanced degree will enable me to have subsequent articles and books published in reputable publications. Number 4, self-paced. While there are still institutional requirements and deadlines to consider, the online learning environment is largely self-paced. I can work my assignments and research into my schedule so that I can fulfill my work and family obligations. Number 5, technology. An online education gives me the opportunity to learn and practice new technology that will be useful in the career path that I am taking, namely teaching adults, whether that be in a college setting or in settings involving my current research focus, museums, libraries, historical societies, etc. I am gaining experience in creating presentations, participating in online communication, and in developing tools for all learning environments. When I think about my role as an adult learner in an academic environment, I know that I need to act responsibly. I am expected to complete and submit assignments by the deadlines set by the institution and my instructors. Meyer and St. Clair remind us that andragogy theorist Malcolm Knowles assumes that adults learn differently than children. As an adult learner, I bring my own life experiences as an adult to the academic environment, so I am expected to be responsible enough to complete academic tasks proficiently. As the learning experience works best when it is a collaborative experience, my social role is to engage with my peers. In some classes, this collaboration might also include group projects, which mean working with 3 or 4 classmates to complete a project. Elliman notes that it is important for instructors to engage students with a variety of tools such as discussion boards, group projects, and conferencing. As adult learners are already familiar with engaging with others through jobs and family, engaging them is important to their learning experience. So, what are the factors that impact adult learning? KP Cross identified 3 challenges that affect adult learners in the adult learning environment. The institutional factor regards the institution chosen by a student. How are the instructional programs offered? Will the student have to attend classes at a scheduled time, or can they take self-paced online courses? What are the program requirements? Every institution lays out requirements for different programs that must be met to earn a certain degree. Choosing an institution that you can fit into your schedule while completing the institution's set requirements is important. The situational factor centers on the individual student and what they bring to the learning environment. What financial restrictions are they trying to navigate? Do they have health issues that impact their learning? The instructor needs to consider these things and determine how best to address them. Finally, the dispositional factor considers how each individual copes with the learning environment. How are they dealing on an emotional level with juggling work, home, family, and an education? This varies from person to person. Some people cope with stress better than others. Some people have been out of the learning environment for many years and may be apprehensive about their abilities to fit this commitment into their already busy schedules. Many people have personal characteristics that hamper their ability to successfully learn in an online environment. The institutional challenge was my biggest challenge in pursuing an advanced education. I began my higher education at age 38, married with three small children at home. At that time, there were no online learning opportunities, so I had to commit to the scheduled in-person classroom. All of these factors were barriers I needed to learn how to balance if I wanted to achieve my goal of obtaining a degree. I was not able to begin classes until my youngest child entered school. It took me close to 10 years to complete the first degree. Once I entered the workforce as a teacher, my schedule was demanding, and I had to balance that with raising a family. An online education meets my needs in that I have limited time and cannot commit to being in a classroom at a certain date and time. According to Gardner, this is one of the characteristics of an adult learner. Online learning opened the way for me to pursue a higher degree, which had been a dream of mine for a long time. The largely self-paced schedule is my biggest motivator in choosing to learn through the online community. Situationally, I needed to find a program that worked around my caring for my elderly parents and fit within my budget. The major restriction of choosing online learning is that students are self-directed. While this characteristic of the adult learner and one they are already familiar with in their family and work life, it takes an extra commitment to set aside time dedicated to completing the readings, research, and assignments in an online course. Students also do not have the same sense of community with peers and instructors that they would get in a traditional classroom. What keeps me motivated to continue is knowing that at the end of the course and program, I will have gained valuable knowledge and skills to take my career to a higher level. Adult learners bring different dispositions to the classroom. Due to varied life experiences, many have preconceived notions regarding what education is and what it should look like. It is often difficult for some adults to return to the parameters set by an education setting, so they might feel they are too restrictive. For instance, in my own return to higher education, I was extremely apprehensive about speaking up in class, as this was not a personal characteristic of mine at the time. I had been out of the classroom for 20 years and had poor self-esteem and was self-conscious among my peers who were younger than me. I was fortunate to have several instructors who were respectful and communicative with me regarding my fears, which offered me the motivation to keep moving forward. To balance work and education expectations, I make set times that I will devote to coursework. Time management is very important in keeping a balance in all of my responsibilities. Adult learners who are able to manage their time have a greater success in their academic goals. Self-directed learning affords me the opportunity to conduct research and communicate with my peers outside of a classroom, so it becomes easier to incorporate my academic responsibilities with my work and family obligations. Finally, in evaluating the relevancy of my adult learning experience, I ask myself these questions. Did I learn a new way of approaching problems in my chosen career path? Did I learn new tools to help me in my career, or was I able to practice using tools I already had? Was I challenged to think in new ways or to discover new pathways? How will what I learned help me succeed in my career and in my life? Most importantly, was the time commitment that I made to this experience worth what I gained from it? All of these questions helped me to determine how relevant a particular course or program was for me. Thank you for your time in viewing my presentation about my experiences with adult learning.